Hello, thank you for joining the channel once again. And we say we are once again grateful that you keep watching the videos, you keep subscribing, and you keep commenting and sharing. We like that. It's very grateful of you. And we are so pleased that you're doing this for us. Continue watching because we have a very good target for you. We have a very, very good target for you. Good. So today we continue with our series of the first science question we're solving. Now, in this question, we are going to look at a different thing as well. The first question, we looked at how to deal with what? Rusting. Here, if you have the question, go to question 1b, and you could see that it's an experiment about what? Photosynthesis. The process by which plants prepare or make their what? Their food. It's an experiment about that. And like I said in rusting, the same thing is occurring here. Now, the conditions necessary for photosynthesis to occur, when any of these conditions is absent in the experiment, then photosynthesis will not occur. Very simple. Now, how do we know that photosynthesis has occurred? When we test for the presence of starch, and it shows a positive test to iodine, where it changes to blue-black, the leaf changes to blue-black, that means that photosynthesis has taken place in the what? In the plant or in the leaf. So in order for us to know that, or to know if all these conditions are necessary, then we have to vary the condition, and see if a condition absent will still allow the photosynthesis to occur. So let's get right into question 1b. So today we're doing question 1b. Question 1b. Today we're doing question 1b. Now let me read the question and give you a detailed explanation of what's going on there. In an experiment, the following activities were carried out on two green leaves labeled A and B. Leaf A was taken from a plant placed in sunlight for some time, while the leaf B, not V, the leaf B was taken from a plant in a dark cupboard for 24 hours. When you put a plant in the dark for 24 hours, what you do is that you discharge, you remove the starch out of what? The leaf. So that's discharging. What is discharging? The process of removing starch out of a leaf is what? Is discharging. Good. Now these are activities that were performed. Activity 1. Leaves dipped in boiling water for 1 minute. Why? Remember I told that then if that happens, we have to do things in order to achieve our aim. Our aim is to make sure one of the conditions is out. So we do things like we put oil on top of the water to prevent air from what? From entering the boiled water. Now leaves dipped in warm alcohol. There's a reason for doing that. We'll get that soon. Leaves washed in cold water. Then leaves dipped in what? In iodine solution. After dipping in iodine solution, it was observed that leaf A changed color. What? Study the activities carefully. Once again, you are told to study the activities what? Carefully and answer the questions that follow. I suggest an aim for the experiment. I explain briefly why each of the following activities were carried out. Why did we carry out I, and I? Good. Then state the color change of leaf A and explain why the leaf A changed color. Why did it change color? Why is it necessary? That's the V. Why is it necessary to discharge the plant before starting the experiment? Then from the above experiment, what conclusion can you draw or can be drawn? And let's go deep into this and understand this so that we answer all this. Now, when it comes to photosynthesis, now a process by which plants are able to make their own food using energy from the sun. Now there are conditions necessary for photosynthesis to occur. So conditions necessary for photosynthesis. Conditions necessary for photosynthesis, and one of them is what? Is sunlight. That means in the absence of sunlight, photosynthesis will not occur. Then the other one is what? It's water. We need water. Then we need chlorophyll. We need sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once these things are present, then photosynthesis will occur. But in this experiment, in most of the practicals, what we are going to do here is that we differ the conditions. It's either one condition is absent, and the moment one of them is absent, then photosynthesis will not work, will not occur. But the question is, if photosynthesis occurs, how do we know? Or what is the end product of that? When photosynthesis occurs, it forms something called what? Starch. It forms starch. Listen, these conditions are necessary for photosynthesis to occur. Once everything is in place, photosynthesis occurs. Photo means light, synthesis means to make. So plants use light to make their food, and the food is being stored as what? As starch. After they've used what they want to use as starch. Now, how do we know that starch is present? If we test for starch in a leaf and it gives us a positive test, then we will say that photosynthesis has occurred. But if I vary any of these conditions, if I have sunlight, water, carbon dioxide without chlorophyll, and I test for starch, then I'm not supposed to get a positive test. That means the leaf is not supposed to change its color to blue-black, because the blue-black color indicates that really starch has been formed. I hope you get what I'm saying. Good. If you get this, let's go. So we are saying that for us to know if photosynthesis occurs, if all these conditions are in place, then we'll have the presence of what? Starch. Now, starch in the presence of iodine, will change color to blue-black. The blue-black color indicates that starch is what? Present. So what we are going to do here today is to study what I have read, the question, and see what condition was not present. If the condition is not present, automatically in that leaf or in that plant, then photosynthesis will not occur, because for photosynthesis to occur, we need 1, 2, 3, 4. So in all the experiments we are taught in school, I'm teaching the basic principle behind that. In any of the photosynthesis experiment, we vary one. The experiment to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis to occur. Okay, then that means that we are going to take sunlight out to see that if sunlight is not there, will photosynthesis occur? No. Or if you hear this experiment to show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis to occur. Chlorophyll necessary. Oh, okay, then we have to take the chlorophyll out and see if its absence will form the what? Will form the starch, and you will see that the starch will not be formed. So that is the general idea behind these photosynthetic radicals. One of the conditions we act. But if you look at experiments we have done in school compared to this question, we need to think a little bit. Good, because the experiment we have here is about what? It's about sunlight. But in our school practical, sunlight, there's a way we do it. We use aluminum foil to reflect the sunlight. But this one, they twisted it in a little and aligned it. The way they did the question was so nice. So that your understanding should go to what? To solve this question. So like we do, let's go right again and solve the questions. Let's go right and solve the questions. Question 1b. Now, in an experiment, the following activities were carried out on 2 green leaves, A and what? B. Leaf A was taken from a plant placed in sunlight for some time. If the plant is placed in sunlight, that means all the conditions were necessary. While the leaf B, not V, B, was taken from a plant placed in a dark cupboard for 24 months. And I said, once you do that, once you place a leaf in a dark cupboard, what you do is that you discharge the leaf. That means you remove the starch. Remove the starch present in the leaf. And once you have taken the starch out of the leaf, you can start the process again. And once you bring it up, it will start again. So you'll be sure, we do that, we'll be sure if really we have taken all the starch out of the leaf. And that experiment where we discharge the leaf is to serve as a control for us. Okay, let's go. Now let's get to it right in the activities that were performed. Leaves deep in boiling water for what? For 1 minute to that activity. The leaves were deep in boiling water for 1 minute, and this is the process to test for starch. In case you are asked in the bees now, test for starch. If you want to test for starch, this is the process listed there. 1, you dip the leaves in what? In boiling water. Why do we do that? We'll answer that shortly. Now, leaves deep in warm alcohol. There's a reason for doing that as well. Then, the leaf washed in what? In cold water. Then, the leaves were deep in what? In iodine solution. After dipping in iodine solution, it was observed, we saw that the leaf A changed color. Study the activities carefully once again and answer the questions that do follow. Now let's go. I suggest an aim for the experiment. If you go back, how do you get the aim? If you go back to the B, the beginning there, you could see that it's an experiment to show that sunlight is what? Necessary for photosynthesis to occur. An experiment to show that sunlight is what? Is necessary for photosynthesis to do what? To occur. So let's write that answer. Hope you've written this down. That's a sketch, a short explanation of the experiment photosynthesis. Okay, so let's go. So question 1B. I suggest an aim for the experiment. So our aim is what? To demonstrate that sunlight is necessary for what? For photosynthesis. To demonstrate that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. For photosynthesis. Check the spelling for photosynthesis. Very important. For photosynthesis. So that's I. Then I. Still be I. Explain briefly. Don't talk much. Don't write much. Explain briefly why each of the following activities were carried out. So for BII alpha, why were the leaves dipped in boiling water for 1 minute? Now, when we dip the leaf in boiling water, what we do is that we kill the cells of the leaf. There are 3 reasons, but I'll write one and tell the other 2. So the reason is to kill the cells in the leaf. The next one is that to allow easy penetration of iodine and also to stop all enzymatic actions in the leaf. So there are 3 reasons, but we'll go with this. Any of them should be correct. 1 is to kill the cells of the leaf. 2 is to stop any enzymatic action. And 3 is to allow easy penetration of the iodine. Then the beta aspect of B1BII, the beta aspect. It says what? It says, why the leaves were dipped in warm alcohol. The leaves were dipped in warm alcohol to depolarize the leaf. When we say to decolorize the leaf, that means to remove the what? The chlorophyll, which gives the leaf its color, its green color. That is why we dip it in what? In alcohol. Then gamma, another radiative particle, gamma radiative particle, another one. So, but this just a symbol to represent question I, the third one. Good. And that is what? Why were the leaves washed in cold water? Very simple. To soften the leaves. We do that to soften the leaf. And also to wash away the alcohol. Soften the leaf or wash away the alcohol. I like to go soften the leaf. Wash away the alcohol too can be correct. Now state the color change. So we are here I. Still 1BII. What is the color change of the leaf A? Remember that since A was placed in the sunlight, I said all conditions were necessary. Hence, starch has been formed. And starch in the presence of iodine will give us a blue-black color. So state the color change of leaf A. Is that leaf A turns blue, black. That is the color change. Leaf A will turn blue, black. Then explain why leaf A changed color. Oh, why? Why did leaf A change color? Because in the leaf, what has been formed? Starch. That means there's a presence of starch. So IV. Why did leaf A change color? Why did leaf A change color? Is it due to the presence of starch? Because of the starch present, it will change color. Because starch in In the presence of what? Iodine will change color to what? To blue-black. Good. Now explain why it's necessary to distarch the plant before starting the experiment. Why do we distarch the plant? To remove, I said it here, to remove any starch that is already stored. So V, to remove any what? Any starch that is already in the leaf. Why is it necessary to distarch the plant before starting what? The experiment. Before starting the experiment is the what? To remove any starch present in the leaf. To remove any starch present in the what? In the leaf. That is why we had to distarch it, keep it in the what? In the dark for 24 hours. Now from the above experiment, what's the conclusion, or what conclusion can be drawn? The last one, which is VI. What conclusion can be drawn from this experiment? We can draw this conclusion by saying that at the end of the day, sunlight is what is necessary for photosynthesis to do what? To occur. So that's the conclusion. The conclusion is that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis to occur. Very, very, very important. So this is shortly what the experiment is about. Thank you very much once again for joining. Like we always say, when you come here, you concentrate, get yourself involved in the lesson, and you are going to make the grade 1. I promise you this. We are going to make the grade 1. Once you have the willingness to do this, we are going to get it. Thank you very much once again for joining. Don't forget to subscribe.